Alrighty, in this video we're going to do a very basic zombie game. So first up we are going to load in a nice town map. We want something with a couple of different routes that the player can go that we can easily modify. So I'll go for this one. And we're going to zoom out. Okay, so we're going to pick one building to be the starting location. And I'm thinking something over here maybe. But first we're going to modify this map so that we have a couple of different routes to get out to the exit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find some stairs, put some stairs in there. So it's really important to make sure you've just got walkable ground underneath your stairs, otherwise they won't be able to walk on it. Alrighty, so the player should be able to walk through there, get out that way, or they can go out and go down this way. Okay. You will notice I'm using the left click, right click, load and place trick quite a bit. Just to really quickly tidy up little bits and pieces on the map. We might even put some stairs here, just to give the player a couple of different options. So what we're going to do is we are going to lock all of these doors except for one that we're going to place here. So we're going to grab the black square, put our door in there. So we're going to go across to event mode. We're going to go down to image, we're going to find a door. And in the middle, with dim background, it's going to come up with it's locked. We're going to change our starting position to here, we're going to test it, and we're going to see, do we like that, or does it get in the way of the player seeing the map? Yep, that's fine. What I'm going to do, so I'm just going to center it a little bit more. That's looking nice and centered. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to copy that and we're going to paste it on all the doors. And what that does is that locks, for want of a better term, that locks all the buildings apart from our home for this game. Now that we've done that, we need to find the inside of a house that kind of looks that kind of shape. So we're going to load through our houses. I'm going to go with house 1. Okay, so player's going to start in here. What we're going to do is, first off, we're going to get rid of all the other party members. So it's just our original actor, and we're going to change what he looks like. And we're going to change our character into a kid. And he's got no fighting animation because if the monsters touch you, you're dead. And he has no name. Okay. So this is going to be his house. We're going to have him come up, look outside the window, see there's monsters around town. There's going to be a monster at his door. He's going to jump out the window and begin to try to escape. And the goal of the game is going to be to get out here to escape and get out of this level. So we're going to make another new map. This one we're going to call intro, and we're going to leave it completely blank. We're going to start the player here, and to start with, the player is actually going to have no graphic to make the character invisible, and we're going to have a new event here. This is going to be an auto run, so it runs automatically, and we're going to do the generic kind of Pokemon start. So what is your name? Tab 3. We want name input processing. We're going to select actor 1 and max characters. How many letters do they get? So they get 8 letters maximum at the moment. We're going to leave that at 8. So they can name our main character. We can then of course do, what is your class? Are you a boy or a girl or other? All those kind of generic kind of start of game things, but we're just going to leave it as what is your name? And then what we're going to do is we are going to play a sound effect. And we're going to find something that sounds like a thump. Maybe Monster 2. Alternatively, there we go, we're going to play a scream, and what we're going to do at this point is we're going to transfer the player from here into his house, and before we as we transfer the player, what we're actually going to do is we are going to tell the map there we go, we're going to fade out the screen to hide what we're about to do here. So the screen will go to black even though it is already black. We're going to transfer him to his house. We're going to change the actor images, and we're going to give him his body, and then we are going to tell the map to fade back in. This hides any kind of the player randomly popping up if it mistimes between the transfer, because we don't want him to. We don't want the player to see the room and then the character suddenly appear a second later. We want it to be nice and smooth. This will give us that nice smooth transition. Okay, and we have to do the transfer player after the change actor, because once we transfer the player, this event will stop playing because we're on a different map. So let's test that and see how it works. So it's really important when you're building games, test, test, test. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're then going to do a little auto run event here. So I just need to check exactly where am I sending them to. I'm sending them there. Okay. So he is going to be there. So I want them to run over to here. So this is going to be a auto run again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a movement route. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to move this to the side so I can actually see the map. And then set a movement route for the player. I want the player to go 1, 2 down. And then from there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 to the right. And before that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show text, and it's going to be the player. A bit of check. So this isn't going to fit, so I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to put another text ahead of this, show text. Again, we're going to put his face in. You'll notice this line here, make sure you don't go over it or else you're going to get cut off. And what I can do is there's some really cool little commands you can do. If you leave your mouse over here, over the text box, you'll see all these different commands. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use color. So /C square bracket and then a number between 1 to 9. So I'm going to go with 5. Preview it, and you can see that everything after that goes to a new color. And then after kitchen window, I'm going to go back to 1. Or 0 in this case. There we go. So, what we're going to do is we're going to test that, check that it works, and that is, on auto run. So we'll run through the intro again. You can see why on larger projects you often actually build the intro last. And there's our character looking out the window. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to again fade out the screen while we do a transition. What we're going to do is we are going to change the actor image again, and we're going to change them so they've got no physical body. We're then going to transfer the player to the mining city. Going to transfer him right outside of the house. What we're going to do then is we're going to fade back in the screen. So that will take them outside. We're going to again have an auto run here. We're just going to put them in the corner. What we're going to do is we are going to make the screen move. So it's called scroll map, and we're going to scroll map down 5, and we're going to scroll map to the right 5, and we'll see how that looks, and we'll fiddle around with it. And what we'll do is we're going to make a couple of characters here in a little cutscene. So we're going to have a monster, we're going to have our zombie or a skeleton crashing through the door, and this is going to be given a name. So we're going to name this event for a cutscene. It makes it easier to put everything together at the end. So this is Skelly 1. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put another people in here. And we're going to call this, we'll come up with a female name. This is Jess. And she's the one that screamed. So we're going to do some animation-y stuff. So we're going to move this over to the side so we can see what we're doing. And we're going to set movement route. We're going to tell Jess, so you can see why we named our events. We're going to tell Jess to jump. So we have X and Y, so X is across, Y is to the sky, so we're going to make her jump sideways 1. So that's 1 to the X-axis. And what we're going to do is we're going to actually make her be facing the skeleton to start with. So there's the face 2. And the skeleton is going to be facing the door because they've been trying to get in. So Jess has come around the corner, screamed, is going to jump back, and we're going to do a balloon icon onto Skelly 1 with anger, and we're going to put a balloon icon on Jess of exclamation. Right, at that point we are going to play another sound effect, and we'll probably go back to that scream. And then what we're going to do is we are going to do a set movement event. We're going to tell Jess where to go. She's going to have jumped back 1, so she'll be here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 down. So we're going to move 1, 2, 3 down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 across. Here we go, 8 across, so that keeps us on the path. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. One to the left, 2 up, 2 up, 1 up, 2 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up. So that should bring Jess up to the top here. Just in case, we're going to say skip if cannot move, and then at the end of all of that we're going to change the opacity, and we're going to turn her transparent. So opacity is really good if you want to do like a ghost or a midget. We're just going to make her completely invisible, and we're going to turn through on. This means you can walk through the invisible ghost that she's become. So basically she's disappeared off the page. And then what we're going to do is we're going to edit that, and we're going to unclick wait for completion. Wait for completion means nobody else can move while that's happening. So we actually want to have a second one, which is going to be wait for completion, and this is going to tell the skeleton to move. Now the skeleton is going to be here, so they don't need to do as many moves, so they're going to wait, and we're going to have a play with that wait, whether we need to make it longer or shorter. And then they're going to move down, move down, move down, so they need left, left, 2 less lefts. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to test all this and see if it works. Cutscenes, it's really important to test, because it's really easy to get your movement speed off slightly. So you can see we don't scroll our map far enough, and Jess has issues walking. So we're going to go back to this. We don't actually want it to go down at all, we want it to go to the right, and let's put that distance up to 10 or 12. Right, Jess has got some issues, so let us rewatch. Hopefully she'll be on screen this time and we can find out what her movement issues actually is. So you can see Jess collides here. So our math was slightly off. So skeleton needs to wait a little bit longer. Or in this case we could actually have them move to the right, move down, then move to the left and get rid of that down. Alrighty, let us have a look at that and see how that goes. So you can see what I mean about cutscenes, they take a lot of time. So often you'll actually just spawn yourself in the map that the cutscene starts. You have to go through all of this. So there we go. So it was just a collision error, and they run away. Okay, so that's working really well, but now we need to make the map come back towards us. So we went to the right. So after all of that, we're going to go back to the left. And then what we're going to do is we are going to show text. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do some knocking. So we're going to play a sound effect. Maybe slash. Okay, and we're going to have another skeleton out here, who we're going to call Skelly at house door. And what they're going to do is they're going to hit the door a few times. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the door in here. So we're going to put the same door that everybody else had, and we're going to call it house door. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can find something like a snap in the sound effects. Or like a pin, basic something for the lock is broken. That's what we want. And we're going to tell our players what that sound was. And then we're going to again fade out the screen. We are going to give the player their body back. We are then going to transfer the player inside. We are then going to fade in the screen. And the other thing we're going to do during all of this is we're going to turn on a switch. Switch 1. Intro finished. And we're going to have a second event page. If intro finished has been put on, this first page is never going to play again, and only this page is going to play, and this page is going to be left completely empty. So what that means is, when we get out of the house, after dodging past the skeleton, we're not going to have to sit through that entire intro again. Alrighty, so let's have a look and see how that looks so far, and that's almost the end of our introduction. Okay, so I don't actually like how skeleton by the door is already there, so I'm going to actually put them off screen, and I'm going to have them walking towards the door after all of this happens, so that about now they're coming to the front door. Okay, so you're going to be off screen, and you are going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want you to be right here. So set movement route. We're going to set movement route for Skelly at the house door, and he's going to go up 1, 2, 3. He's going to go to the right one. Just put him there. 1, 2. And the sounds are going to wait for that. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to put that underneath. Oop. Put that underneath. Alrighty. And then the sound's going to play. We're going to do a quick wait in there so that we get both sound effects. Oops. So that copies and pastes above. Alrighty, let's see how that looks. So as you can see, the name of the game is test, 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 and test. Every time you do something, test that it works the way you want it to work. As we come back, monsters from in town. This one comes up and is going to start whacking on the door. Alrighty. So again, we're going to turn this one off as well, so that once the intro is finished, this won't play again. We're now inside, and we're going to give a switch. Intro is finished. And we're going to make this our skeleton. And the skeleton's code is very simple. Game over. Autonomous movement is going to approach the character. Speed is how fast does it move. If it's normal, it's going to be equal to the character. So we're going to be a little bit slower than the character. Frequency is how often. It's going to move quite often. Now trigger, so what's going to trigger the game over? Not action button, because we don't want to have to press enter or spacebar to action it, and it's not when we touch it, it's when it touches us, so we want that to be event touch. We're also going to go and turn this guy off after The intro is finished because he's come inside, so he's no longer on this map. Now that we've done all of that, shall I move him there? We're going to put in the transfer. So we'll transfer the player. When they step on this square, they can transfer outside. And the door, we're actually not going to do a standard door. What we're going to do is we're going to do a proper transferring door. So if we right click, go to new event creation, we click door this time. We choose our map, we choose our square. Alrighty, so that will bring you inside the house. Don't know if you want to be inside the house, there is a zombie there. So yes. That's actually going to cause an issue if you end up spawning straight on top of him, so I will put the zombie here. That will give you time to turn around and go back out. Okay, now that we've got all that going, we can grab this zombie here, and we're going to check that the code works, that it does actually cause the game over. If it does, we're going to copy and paste that zombie and put it all around the map. There's a bit of lag there when they're off screen but still moving, so I might actually delete those few movements just to make that a little bit more fluid. And here we go. So we can get around the zombie, and we can go outside, and we can get back in. If the zombie touches us, it's game over. So that's looking really nice. So what we're going to do is we're just going to get rid of a few of these, and if they disappear while still on screen, we can always go back and fiddle that. Now this guy doesn't exist until the intro is finished, which is great because then we can litter them all around town. I didn't realise there was a second way out of town, so I don't really want to go this way, so I'm going to put a bunch there that are just going to slowly follow you and kind of trap that off. And then we play, see how playable it is, and test it, test it, test it. Once we get here, we're going to create a new event, and all it's going to do is it's going to we can transfer the player to a win screen, or we can just say for now, return to title screen. You have won. Alrighty, so let's see if our game is beatable. That's the next step. So we have a win condition, get out of town. We have a lose condition, which is you get touched by the monsters. We have a cutscene to try hook the player into the story and why they're actually here, what's happening, and then our mechanic at the moment is just monsters chase you. If they touch you, you die. So we can add more interesting mechanics. We might add a different monster that goes faster or slower. We could add some that have patrolled paths. That was much smoother, not having as many up, so they're off screen but they're not actually all the way out of town. So we duck past this guy, who we might need to put the let's put the speed up on this one because they can see us. They're right there. Alrighty. And there's a lot of run around. There's a lot of space to duck around them in the house. So they run off. Monsters are in town. Oh no! There it is. They're coming for me. I race them around. Now I just realised I could just go up here and basically get out almost immediately. As long as I can get past that one. So what I might have to do... That's quite a narrow entry. That's quite nice like that. But what I might do is I might just put another one of these guys over here. And I believe my game is now pretty much done. And it's just been just over half an hour to build this game. And even if your game is, a hack and slash traditional JRPG, this can be a really good way of setting the scene of like the main character's past, or maybe the screen goes to black, we come back to this town with the hero's party that you control, and it's been ransacked, and you find someone who survived, and you go through and basically clear out the skeletons, save anyone who's still left. So there's different ways you can take this. So there we go, we walk around the dining table. As you can see, when we get down here, we really don't want to go through there. Now for interest, you want to have more than one possible way of winning, so there's different routes that we can take. We interact with a door, it's locked, and that lost us a bit of time. I don't really like the skeleton being there, but as long as you're on one side, I can rush past. And we have a slight problem. These two exist. So what we're going to have to do is, again, new event page. When intro is finished, they don't exist. New event page. When intro is finished, they don't exist. And this is why you test, because you're always going to find bugs and things that you've missed to do. Once this all works, we're going to change the music, and we're going to change the title page and all that kind of stuff. But we want a working game before we deal with that. So a working game is what we'd call a minimum shippable product, so that wouldn't have any of this cutscene in it, it would just have you running from zombies, get out of town. Everything else is extra fluff to make it nicer. Ooh, that was a close one. Come down here. Let's try up the top here. Whew. Nothing like just sneaking past. I don't like this. Oh, you can't actually walk through there. So I need to fix that up on the map. So there's nothing I could do there. I got trapped. But we found another issue. So let's grab that square and we can put that in there, there and there. Okay. So it's really important when you're testing, you try all the different avenues to check that everything's working. We go through the intro again. Don't worry, by the time you finish, you get a game that's shippable. You're going to hate the intro. If you hold down enter, you can speed up cutscenes. That's what I'm doing here. Whew, it's nice and close. So we're not going to get out of there, so that one does absolutely fix that issue, which is great. We're going to go this way this time. Sneak past that one. Sneak past that one. We're going to bring these guys out. Come on. I am about to be trapped. Yep. So, is my game winnable? That is the question. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this house. There we go. And I'm going to make that house a little bit narrower. Like so. So we're speeding on through, speeding on through. You can see my character's name is what we named her at the start of the game. You access the menu just by pressing escape. So here we go. We'll be running, we'll be running. We sneak through here. And there we go. Now, haha, we have another issue. That should be on player touch. So we're going to go through, we're going to delete all of them but one. And we're going to trigger that on player touch. Okay, now we need to put some sound effects on. So, autoplay background music. I think that's going to be our one. And background sound, what's going to be the sound? Yeah, let's add the wind in. What we can actually do is we can actually make this whole scene happen at night time, which would make sense because he's sleeping. So we're actually going to put a basically a night filter on everything when he's outside. Okay. So what we're going to do is anytime he comes out here, so if we go back to this auto run, and we're going to add new in here, and what we are looking for is we're looking for the tint screen, and we're going to set it to night. And we're going to set this one tint screen, set it to night. And in the mining city, when he is done with all of this and he moves back inside, we're going to tint the screen back to normal. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into systems, we're going to change some of the stuff here. There we go. So this is the title image. And we've got a bunch of different ones that we can pick, or we can put our own in. I like the storybook. Personally, I think that's going to work best. Yeah, go for the storybook. With the floral. Project 1. The story of Jamestone. Alrighty. Then what we're going to do is we don't have to deal with anything else in here. We don't need enemies, we don't need troops, we've got him all sorted out. We're going to do one last play, checking that everything's now working. Music. That music needs to change. So system. So in here we have all of our music. Game over, battle victory. So over here you can see under music we have title. And I like that. It's much less in your face and jarring, much more keeping to the tone of the start of this. I really like the nice strong ticking of the clock in that. So we're doing one last playthrough. So as soon as you add that music, that sound effects, the music playing in the background, the night, it just adds so much to this game now. Still a little bit of lag in there from moving off screen that I can tidy up, but it's okay for now. And we're back in daytime here, yep. And suddenly it's a lot more exciting. So we've got that transition that needs to be fixed. Alrighty. So that transition needs to be fixed, and that is on the door. So again, very simple. Fade out screen, fade in screen. That fixes it. You'll notice then that I was using shift for run. So that is a option that players may or may not come across. And what you can do, for example, is you can add that in as something that you then teach them on level 2. We're going to then come up to Plugin Manager and remove the Made with MV. That will stop that coming up every time we play. And we're going to do one last test to check that those things are finished. So all it was the transfer of the door, making sure the light came in properly. And we should have gone through and checked all spelling and grammar, punctuation, full stops, they're important. There we go, that's much better transition. Okay, so that's all done. What we can do is we can then deploy the game. So this means we wrap it all up and send it away in a way that other people can play on their devices. I'm going to exclude the unused file, and we can get it set up for Windows, Macs, Linux, Android, iOS, web browser. So we could put this theoretically playable onto a phone, we could put it onto a web browser, and we're going to choose where this goes to, and I'm just going to go to desktop and press OK. That's going to create a distributions package. So now if I quit out of here, you'll see I have Project 1 here. Project 1 has a game, and we can now play this game. You could stick this on a USB, give it to your mates to play, and it's a full working game. Happy days. So this is, I'm going to rename it. Demo. Yeah, now I can put that on USB, get other people to play it, get their thoughts, and you have just deployed or self-published your first little game.